I am excited about Zohran Mamdani's win because, all right, guys, so as a lot of you know, Zohran Mamdani just won the New York City election. And now a lot of YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagram, X or Twitter, are now paying attention. Now, I did one video on him on the Angry Truth channel, and that was because I knew he was going to win. It's no surprise. But now that he won, again, people are paying attention, and they're pointing out all of the things that are not going to work. This is why I'm excited about this win, because here's the long short of it. Everybody who voted for him, they voted for him because, he promised them the world. He promised them everything that a lot of the things he cannot do. He won't even be able to come through on most of it, if any of it at all. And the backlash from him winning this mayor election here in New York City, these people are going to see it in the next year or so. And the crime is going to skyrocket because he thinks crime is a construct. He thinks that prostitution should be legal and that he's all right with, if I'm not mistaken, weed and psychedelic mushrooms. So, of course, we're going to see a nice unfolding of mayhem in the city, and that's why I'm excited. A lot of you guys who know me know that I like chaos. So this is going to get chaotic, and this is going to get bad. And everybody who voted for him, not everybody, but a lot of people that voted for him are going to sit there and go, what did we do? So this is why I'm excited about it. I'm excited to watch this city crumble and the people who voted for him pay for this. Because they're going to pay for this one way or the other. Whether that's physically, financially, or emotionally, New York City's going to pay. Now, there's a lot of things that he promised, and one of the things that dawned on me when he promised it, I was like, how's this going to work? The free bus fare, right? Or free bus rides. He wants every New Yorker to have a free bus ride. First of all, that's not his call. That's number one. Unless New York City itself creates a bus line that's free, the MTA is going to laugh him right out of that room. And they're not city-owned. So he can't make any of those requests. Like, they're going to sit there and go, yeah, man, we'll give all our bus lines for free. And then lose out on millions of dollars a day? Not happening. So he made that promise. And like the retards that New Yorkers are who voted for him, they believed it. He has to move mountains to make that happen. On top of everything else, where are you going to get the money to pay for the bus drivers and to pay for the breakdown of these vehicles? Then he states that he wants to make the bus lines faster. There's only one way you can make bus lines faster, and that's if you remove all cars from the city, which again is not going to happen. He didn't mention anything about removing cars, but he wants the bus services to run faster. And he said it like it was a simple task. Every mayor before him never made promises like that because they understand how traffic works in New York. And you just can't make bus lines faster. But this was his promise. And again, the tards are all clapping and shit because that's what we want, faster buses. And I'm like, not going to happen. He also wants universal childcare so that people who are having financial issues, I guess, can have free childcare. Here's the problem with free childcare. Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for these people to take care of your kids? The state? If the state does, then the state's going to give a minimum wage at best. It's not going to pay them more than they're actually worth, right? So now the state's paying them at minimum wage, and when your kids or anything that's state-run, and when everybody knows when you're dealing with state employees on a public level, whether that's universal, free healthcare, DMV, whatever it is, those people are sacks of shit. And you get less quality service when you're dealing with anything free in that regard. You get less qualified employees. You get less service, or rather less quality service, or bad quality service when you have things like that happen. And then your kids pay for that price. Emotionally and intellectually, they pay for that. Because intellectually, they're not going to be learning much. These people who they're going to hire are not going to teach your kids anything. They're going to skirt the system. They're going to probably abuse your kids in some way, shape, or form. So he didn't think that through when he opened his mouth and said it. And apparently there was a study stating that kids that do universal health care or go through the child care system, they wind up being more emotionally damaged because of it. And I think the study came out of Canada like a bunch of years ago. So still, he didn't think any of that through. Now this one was my favorite one, the city-run supermarket. Now granted, that's probably one of the only things that he can start and get done, but to what levels is that going to run? Now, is he going to institute this supermarket and have cops inside the supermarket make sure you don't steal anything? Because if you don't put security in, or you don't put some kind of security in, that means your city-run supermarket is not going to have anything in it because people are going to come in and ransack it on a daily basis. So now you need the cops. The same cops you don't like, you're going to need cops and or armed security guards to be in there to make sure stuff is not flying off the shelves. Then the better part, which I love, is that a city-run supermarket is only going to have so many choices of items you can get. For example, if it's milk or juice, you're only going to have 2 variations of that milk or 2 variations of that juice. And you're only going to get to pick one. Hell, you might only get one company that you can pick from. Meat, produce, they might tell you how much you can get because it's a city-run supermarket, right? So they're only going to tell you, oh man, this week you can only get 2 pounds of meat, whatever that meat might be. You can only get a couple of pounds of fruits and vegetables. That's it. Eggs, we're going to have to give you 6. We can't give you a dozen. We're low because people keep stealing. This is the nonsense that these socialists try to come up with, and it never works. And every time somebody tries to enact something like it, it collapses and fails miserably. But yet this idiot thinks that it was a good idea. Now, I think Mamdani is smarter than he's leading on to be. I think he set this out in motion so that the morons can collapse it. Because keep in mind, if the city collapses, guys, it's because of the New Yorkers. The people that voted for him caused the collapse in New York City. Like I said, guys, the city-run supermarket is going to limit your choices like you wouldn't believe. I don't see them having junk food in there either, and maybe in the beginning they will, but towards the end or middle part, they won't. Because where are they going to get all this food from? They're going to get donations, fine. But if you ever seen donated foods, if you ever seen like food kitchens or food pantries, if you will, excuse me, they don't have too many varieties to pick from. You stand in line, they give you this bag, you grab the bag and you go. That's it. There is no like walking through there, oh, I want this, that, and the third. Nope. They give you a bag of shit and they tell you bounce. That's how the city supermarket's going to run. It's going to run like shit. It's a bad idea that I don't see him getting off the ground. And if he does get off the ground, he might get 1, maybe 2 in operation. But then after that, that's it. Now, one way they can make that supermarket work is the digital ID. I could see them implementing the digital ID as a practice run to see how that's going to work with a situation like that. That's the only way. So that if you steal, your digital ID already has you on record for stealing, and then they can punish you however the hell they're going to punish you. This is actually, guys, going to be very interesting to watch. Again, is why I'm excited. I'm excited to watch this city collapse. Everybody's like, you're going to leave? You're going to run? Well, first of all, I got a couple more years left. But I'm not going to run because of this and not because of him. I want to leave the city because I'm tired of the city and its bullshit as a whole. I don't care what mayor is in office. I don't care if it was Cuomo or Sliwa. I want out of the city because the city's turning into shit. And there's not much more that the city can offer me anymore other than, a couple of good rides and fist fights and crackheads scrapping about. But that's it. After that, the city can't offer me anything else. Now here is the big part of Mamdani being mayor. Crime is going to skyrocket. As I mentioned earlier, he's going to legalize prostitution and probably legalize psychedelic mushrooms. And of course, weed is already somewhat legalized, so that's going to be carrying on. He thinks crime is a construct. So with that, if he thinks it's a construct, he thinks that if you get charged with burglary, it should just be burglary. If you happen to injure somebody in the process of that burglary, they don't want it to be an assault of any kind. They just want it to be burglary. I'm like, wait, what? So somebody gets injured, that's not an assault? That's not them trying to attempt to take their life? So I want to see how that shit show's going to unfold when it comes to the crime. But crime undoubtedly is going to skyrocket. And here's the other reason why it's going to skyrocket. Police officers are going to resign left and right. Bad enough they don't have enough cops in the street as is. Now Mamdani, who states that he wasn't a big fan of PD, that he was looking to fire a bunch of cops if he ever got to be mayor, and he did. So let's see if he's going to follow through on that threat. But I know one thing, a lot of cops over the chatter or the internet, if you will, were talking about leaving if he won. Guess what? He's out. We already had the FDNY commissioner resign the day after Mamdani won. He had his paper, he handed it in, and he was effective immediately. He was gone. They have an interim commissioner right now, and let's see where this goes. But nonetheless, guys, this guy already resigned, the commissioner of the fire department. Keep in mind, he's a billionaire, so he already has money. He doesn't need it. But a lot of the cops, especially those who just hit their 20 or a little over, they're probably going to be gone. They're not going to want to deal with this bullshit. So less cops in the street means more criminals on the street, means more crime. Now, again, guys, the New Yorkers that voted for him, they voted for him like retarded children. Mamdani was promising them cake, ice cream, and cookies and all the good stuff, but none of the New Yorkers stopped to think whether it was a good idea or a healthy idea. They just sat there and kept clapping like retarded seals because he promised them everything that they wanted, and his promises were not realistic. And New Yorkers who voted for him are going to see how bad this is going to get, and that's why I am excited about this election. Because when the city crumbles, those same people are probably not going to say much. They're just going to move. Or they're going to do their stupid selfie videos and cry into their camera. What did he do? That's why I'm excited about this. I'm excited to watch the chaos unfold. Other than that, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.